Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my review of the latest episode of The Walking Dead, episode 14, titled Still Gotta Mean Something. Now, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead like I am, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon, that way you don't miss any future reviews on The Walking Dead moving forward. Now let's begin. So as usual, we're going to split this up into a couple different sections based on each character's separate story. And first we got Jadis and Negan. Now right away, I'm going to mention the flashback we have of Jadis running away and hiding. Now this is a little bit, I find, somewhat confusing, because if you remember back in the earlier episode 10, she stood there and watched her people die, yet here we see her running away and hiding, which kind of begs the question of the continuity. I don't understand that. I guess you could say different writers didn't know what was going on, but in my opinion, they probably should have been talking with each other so they know what happened. That just kind of feels weird. I like how they have it where someone hiding under a dead body, faking their death, doing like a callback to season 3 where that character Karen from Woodbury hid underneath a body and survived that way. I really like how they did that kind of callback there. But again, I find it a little weird, and it kind of takes you out of continuity, if you will, because like I said, we watched she watched her people get killed, and then you see here you have her running away, so it just kind of struggles with continuity in my opinion here. But moving on, we got her and she's got Negan tied up, and this is again more or less questionable for me, because we know why this had to happen, because we needed Negan away from Simon so Simon can do what he did last episode. And yet, I feel like they could have done this in a little better way. And I'm getting a little bit more mad that they're revealing more about his backstory and his wife. Like, I'm starting to wonder if they're actually going to adapt Here's Negan into like a Here's Not Here episode with Morgan. I thought they would originally do something like that with Negan's backstory. But more and more as we're getting more information about her, I'm starting to wonder if we're not going to get that at all, which I'm kind of disappointed in if that is how they would play that out. I really hope we do get a kind of flashback episode similar to Here's Not Here with Negan. But I'm getting off track. But let's talk about what she did, because this is weird in a way. Like, she wanted to burn Lucille, I guess, for revenge on her people. That was an interesting thing. Again, though, we kind of saw that earlier in a couple episodes back with Rick. So why do we need to repeat things and have the bat burn again? That doesn't make any sense. It just kind of feels like recycling stuff. And I did like how you had Negan tied up, though. Him being vulnerable. Him almost losing Lucille, because that's the one thing that gives him power. And without it, he doesn't have his power. I did kind of like that, but it just seemed a little weird. And then you have her getting that cart with the walker on it, and I don't understand what she was going to do with that. That just seemed questionable. And what's with the timer? I don't understand her timing everything. That's another thing I don't understand. And then she leaves everything with Negan, and this is another issue I have. We don't see him try to struggle to break free. We don't see him actually break free or anything. All of a sudden, when she comes back and he's free, he's got a flare and he's threatening to burn the photos. And that's like, how did he get free? Like, show us him getting free. Like, how did he break free of his binds? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't like that. And then, of course, you had the helicopter returning. And I'm iffy on this. Like, really, I don't totally understand what's going on here. These whole couple scenes just felt so out of place. And then at the end of it all, she just lets him go. My only thing that I can think of is why she let him go is because she thinks at this point he's going to take care of Simon. But still, how does she know he's definitely going to? It just, these whole scenes of Jadis and Negan just didn't need to happen. It was a waste of time in my opinion. It was so silly and just weird in my opinion. But leave your thoughts and opinions on how you feel about the whole Jadis Negan stuff in the comment section down below. Next, let's talk about Tara forgiving Dwight, because this is something I'm 50-50 on. Because, yes, have I been tired of Tara being mad and just going around being reckless? Yes. However, I feel like she forgave Dwight for shooting her with the wrong arrow too quickly, in my opinion. She should have. She should still be simmering a little bit, angry at Dwight, but not totally forgive him yet. I would understand better if she was still a little bit mad, simmering a bit, but not like completely forgiving him already. That just didn't seem correct. It just seemed out of place for her. But leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, because I understand Daryl, but I don't really understand Tara, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on Tara forgiving Dwight so quickly. Let's talk about Rick and Morgan now, because this was probably the best part of the episode by far, and probably the biggest thing everybody's been talking about. And I really loved the whole dive bar scenes and everything that happened there. I love how earlier on in the episode you had Rick talking with the POW, what's his name, Aldine or Dylan, whatever his name is. I don't really care right now. I hope they one day confirm that. Moving on though, I like how before he leaves, the prisoner tells him, don't kill them all. Let some of them come back. They'll realize they made a mistake. And Rick is just kind of like, yeah, sure. And he's not going to listen to this guy. He's going to go there and kill them all. And I like how you have him run into Morgan and the two of them go after them. And they end up being captured. And again, I love Jared. I love the actor who plays him. I love the whole kind of background kind of character of him. He's just a psycho, in my opinion. He's crazy, and I love what they did with him and this character. And again, I love how they're putting these two things where you got the bad savior like Jared, and then you had that one good guy who's just like, let's hear them out. Let's maybe do the right thing. And I love how you had those two compelling forces going back and forth with each other. I really like how they did that. And in the end, when the walkers do arrive, you have the escaped POWs free Morgan and Rick to help them fight. And then at the end, when everything's all said and done, Morgan and Rick turn on the POWs and kill them all. And then Morgan goes after and chases Jared, who escaped. And oh my god, I think this has been the best death scene since Noah back in season 5. And I love how they kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a flashback or mirrored it, something like that, or a callback. I don't know what you'd call it, but I love how they kind of mirrored it in the same way as Noah's death. You had the two of them fighting, and I love how you got, like, Jared mocking him, saying how he knows how much he loves sticks. I love how they did that, and then at the end, Morgan kicks him, and he shuts the door on him, and he's trapped with all the walkers coming in on him, and I love how they mirrored it like Noah, and then you had Morgan grab him by his jacket and hold him against the gate so he couldn't escape. And he's begging him, let go. And I just couldn't get over how much that, like, mirrored and called back to the Noah death, where he knows he's going to die. There's no way around it. And he's holding on to Glenn, and he's saying, don't let go. And I love how they kind of, I don't know if they kind of were doing a callback to that, but I love how they kind of had it where, if you look at the way Noah was going, he was saying, don't let go. And you can see he was scared, kind of dying. And at the same time, as the actor said, he didn't want Glenn to lose who he was. So that's why he's saying, don't let go. He was saying, don't let go in a pure, caring about other people way. Whereas Jared was saying, don't let go because he wanted to save himself and pretty much kill Morgan. And I love how I had him say, let go. And then you had it kind of doing a callback or whatever to the Noah death where he was saying, don't let go. I love how they kind of did that. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just me thinking that, but I love how they kind of had those kind of callback parallel signs kind of pointing out there. I love how they did that. I think that was probably one of the best parts of the episode. And then when all is said and done, when Morgan and Rick are leaving, you have Rick turn to Morgan and he said, so why did you save me back in the beginning when I first met you back in the pilot? And I love how, Morgan just said, because my son was there. And I absolutely love that. I love how you had that, because then it goes back to, maybe if Carl was still alive, Rick would have saved these people. And it just shows how dark Rick is becoming now that Carl's dead. and how it changed Morgan and how it could easily change Rick just like it changed Morgan. I just love these scenes all together, and I think it was probably one of the strongest and best parts of the episode, all in all. Next, let's talk about Carol, because I did really enjoy what they did with Carol again in this episode. I feel like as much as I don't like the Carol character, I think what they did in this episode was great with her looking for Henry. I love what they did there. And then at the end, her finding her in the creek, where mirroring what happened to Sophia, where Rick left her. And I think even on Talking Dead, they talked about how this is the same place, filming wise, where they filmed the whole Sophia hiding in the creek while Rick left her. And I just love how they had it mirroring that. And in one instance back then, they found the person dead, and in this instance, they found him alive. And I just love how they kind of mirrored this kind of thing again, similar to the Noah death. I just love how they did a bunch of callbacks and mirroring stuff in this episode. Such a great thing to do. And again, I love how Carol said, "You will live," kind of like how if you look at all the kids she's taken in, whether it be Sam, Lizzie, or her own daughter, they all end up dying, and it was because she couldn't protect them or because something with them. And it just shows how much Carol is growing, and I just love what they've done with the characters in this episode, whether it be Morgan and Rick or Carol. Just such a great stuff. I love it. I think it was probably some of the strongest parts of the episode. That and the dive bar stuff with Rick and Morgan. Next, let's talk about Rick and the stuff with him and Carl's letter and Michonne. Because I really like what they did here, because I really like how you have Rick struggling to read the actual letter, and it's kind of like him accepting that Carl died. And you see what's been going on. You've had him go through like all the stages of grief, denial, bargaining, all this stuff. And he's at the point where he can't accept and reading the letter would be confirming that he accepts it, and he can't accept that Carl's dead. And I really like how they have that whole thing playing out. And then at the end of the episode, he goes to read the letter. And I just really like what they did with Rick in this episode. And I still really like how they did the whole thing with him, with the good guy savior telling him, a man's words gotta mean something. Still gotta mean something. I really love what they did there. And it just kind of showing what's going on with Rick. Showing how Carl's death has changed him. How this war has changed him. And just how everything going on is changing him and will change him forever, moving on, even past the war and into the next storylines. I just love what they do with him in this episode. It was probably one of the best Rick moments I've seen in a while, probably since the mid-season premiere. Kind of the Rick stuff that they've been doing just wasn't clicking for me. It just could have been me, but I really like what they did with him in this episode. And at the end of the episode, I love how you have these things going on with Rosita and Daryl planning to attack the outpost where Eugene's at, and I really like how they brought up that they have the bullet maker earlier on in the episode, and they have this whole plan, and I really hope, I don't think they're going to kill Eugene. I know Rosita said we're going to take the guy out. I don't think they're going to kill Eugene. And then I also really like how at the end of the episode you have Negan pull up and pick someone up. I'm guessing it's Laura. I don't understand who else it could be. Again, I really wish they could have just shown it instead of us having to wait till the next episode. It just kind of felt a little out of place and just didn't make any sense. I know they're probably doing it just to get ratings, but again, it just, I don't like how they didn't show us who it really was he was picking up, because it's got to be Laura. It can't be anybody else. But I really like how they ended it all, and how he told the guard, "Don't tell anybody I'm back. He's got a big surprise for everybody." And probably one with Laura and Dwight, and then two with the whole Simon and the scavengers thing. So I really like how they ended this episode off with these two cliffhangers. As much as I didn't like them not showing who Negan picked up, I really like how the cliffhangers kind of left us at the end of this episode. Yeah, guys, that's my review of The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 14, titled Still Gotta Mean Something. If you like this review, give it a big thumbs up and share. And hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way you don't miss any future videos or reviews I do on The Walking Dead moving forward. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I will see you next time.